Have you ever wondered what the quality of your health is going to be like depending on the water that you drink? Your body is 75% water and you deserve to drink the best water. My name is Amanda Bobbitt and I've been drinking Kangen water now for the last 7 years. So 7 years ago, my health was not the same. I was considered clinically obese, I had mercury poisoning, I had adrenal fatigue, and I had lost my female cycle for 8 entire years. And I was sick. So I did what most people do, is they go to the doctor, and I kept going to the doctor getting a pill for my symptom. Well, pill after pill, doctor after doctor, same thing. Until this amazing water came into my life. My grandfather is a very scientific, very skeptical man, and he heard about this water technology. My grandfather purchased a device, and because of that, my whole entire family wanted to own that. Because if grandfather researched it and he bought it, it's got to be good. So my whole family got this water. I started drinking the water. My health started changing. And as a result, people wanted to know what I was doing. And at the time, the only thing I had changed was my water. So when people started asking me, I said, you know what? I think it's because I'm drinking this water. They says, Amanda, but you're losing weight and your skin is looking great and you have all this energy. And I kept telling them, I think it's this water. And they looked at me like, really? Are you trying to sell me snake oil? I said, look, I'm not selling anything, but I have this device. It's a medical device that we import from Japan, and it makes 300 gallons of water a day. So why don't you guys just come over and drink this water and see for yourself its health results? And as a result, the first month and a half, I had over 50 people coming in to get this water. And I seen exactly what this water was doing to other people's health. And that's when I said, I am all in. I want to help as many people as possible. And I'm going to do it one glass of water at a time. So now I go around, travel, speak, and help people around the globe. So I'm honored to be here with you today to be able to share this with you as well. So what we have here is a certified medical device from Japan. It's been in Japan for the last 44 years. It's certified by 6,500 doctors there for preventative adult diseases, things that we can prevent. So in Japan, they tend to prevent health from getting sick, and you pay your doctor when you're well. So they're encouraged to keep you well. But here in the US, we tend to pay our doctors when we are sick. And so here in the US, we are now number 52 on longevity. We spend $2.7 trillion every year after we become sick. In Japan, they're number 1 or number 2 in longevity, and that's where you prevent. So I'm so excited to be able to share with you these 3 amazing benefits of this water, the properties. So the first property we have with Kangen water is its antioxidant potential. Second thing is it's alkalized, and the third thing, it's going to hydrate you. So we're going to go through these 3 different properties here today. So the first one being antioxidants. So you probably heard of free radicals. So free radicals come from our cell phones, microwaves, TVs, radios, computers, the air, the food. Those free radicals cause oxidation or rust. So you cut an apple open or an avocado open, you see that browning process that takes place? That is oxidation. And that's happening in our bodies and creates inflammation. Inflammation and oxidation are linked to nearly every single disease process. And wherever you are genetically susceptible to that process is where we start to see it happening first. So what an antioxidant does, its job is to neutralize free radicals. So we have our vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, fruits and vegetables. Those protect from free radicals. So if you cut an apple open and you spray this Kangen water on that apple, it tends to stay fresh for 4 hours before it starts to brown. You put it in our body, and it's a natural antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. So those of you that might be struggling with things like itises, like arthritis and bursitis and tendonitis and colitis, those are inflammational issues. So we're going to go through these different liquids here, and we're going to see if they're either creating more oxidation, more inflammation, more aging in the body, or if they're antioxidant, anti-inflammatories to the body. So we've got a chart here, and this is known as the oxidation reduction potential chart. So 0 is neutral. Anything positive creates inflammation and aging and oxidation. Negative is antioxidant, anti-inflammatory to the body. So the first one we're going to check is called Dasani. or I now call it dishonest water. This one in 2007, in Europe, they were caught putting tap water in their bottles, repackaging that tap water and selling it right back to the public. The first ingredient in this water is magnesium sulfate, which tends to make you more thirsty. So why would they do that? Could it be that bottled water is an $18 billion industry in the US? So they are encouraging us to drink more bottled water. Then the second thing we have to think about is water is a solvent and a scavenger. You put water in plastic, it's going to leach these plastic chemical hormones in. One of those hormones is called xenoestrogen. And 75% of men and women that have breast cancer have too much estrogen. It's a growth factor for the body. It's an estrogen mimicking compound called xenoestrogen. And so water sits in here, and who knows how long it's been sitting there. It could be a couple months, it could be a couple years, we just don't know. So anytime you can move the plastic like that, it's very terrible quality plastic. Then we have our Propel. And when I started Kangen water, I was drinking a lot of artificial beverages because I was very afraid of calories. And so instead, I would go through things like Propel and Gatorade. I would do a lot of Monsters and Red Bulls, but they were always diet everything. Here we have Sprite. So the Sprite, same thing. I would do diet, but this has a lot of high fructose corn syrup, which is also very oxidizing to the body. And then we have our Kangen water here. And this is freshly made Kangen water. The fresher you can drink it, the better results you're gonna see. Now we have a meter. This is called an oxidation reduction potential meter. And we're just gonna put it in these different liquids and see the reading that we get. So right now we are going up, and Dasani water is going up and up and up. And right now we're leveling off about a positive 165. And the longer that water sits in this plastic container, the higher that number is gonna go. The more oxidation it's creating, the more inflammation and aging it's creating in the body. Okay, so whoa, we're at 234 now. Next one, Aquafina, 220 positive, going up. Now for the artificial sweet, whoa, 317 positive. Next one, Soda Pop, 320, it's about the same. And now the Kangen water here. And we have a negative 622. You could not eat enough fruits and vegetables in one entire day to get the equivalent of 1 glass of Kangen water. Now, I will tell you, there is a downfall to antioxidants in the food-based form. You see, here's what happens. There's a little secret that the scientists know they don't ever tell you about. That is, when you eat an antioxidant, let's say it's blueberries. Blueberries come into the body, it donates its antioxidant and neutralizes that free radical, but then you have to digest the blueberry. And anything that you digest leaves behind a waste. It's called an ash, and it still goes on to do more and more oxidation in the body. So it's slowing down the oxidation process. However, water is the only thing you don't digest, you absorb it. So when it comes in, those antioxidants neutralize those free radicals, but do not become free radicals themselves. So it literally stops and helps to reverse the whole cycle of oxidation in the body. Another benefit of water is there's no vitamins attached to it. So vitamin A and vitamin E, those will build up in your body over time. Since there's no vitamins, you can drink as much as you want of this water. It's not gonna have any side effects that are negative to your health. So that's the first property, the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory protection, okay? It's probably one of the most popular things out there on the market today is antioxidants. Everybody wants the fountain of youth, and our bodies are 75% water. The next thing we're going to talk about is the pH. So the pH is very important. Our bodies prefer to be slightly alkaline in the blood. And so what this chart does, it's a 0 to 14 chart. 7 is neutral. Anything below 7 is acidic. That's where disease thrives in that acidic environment. Anything above 7 is alkaline. That's a healthy environment. Stress, alcohol, artificial sweeteners, and tobacco are the fastest ways to put your body into that acidic oxidized state. And here in the US, a lot of us are consuming a diet, which is the standard American diet, which stands for SAD. So we're eating 80% acid forming foods, and only 20% alkaline forming foods. And our body then goes into a state called acidosis. In that state, your body is so smart, it's gonna protect you. Your blood has to be alkaline. So when you put a hamburger or French fries or soda pop or Coke or Diet Pop, whatever that might be, your body is gonna look for bicarbonate buffers. Those are minerals or electrolytes found in calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Those come from bones, tissues, ligaments, joints, and cartilage. So the more acid you put into your body, the more state of acidosis your body goes through, and it starts to pull those minerals out of the bones and put it into the blood. And then later in life, we wonder why we fall down and we break a hip, because your body is pulling those minerals to add it to the blood to help to balance you. And then over time, your body becomes weak and brittle and you start breaking down. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take what's known as phenol red pH drops, same thing you use for a pool, and we're just gonna add these different liquids. We're gonna add some drops to these different liquids. So Dasani water here, if our body is 75% water, Dasani is acid water. And if we were to put fish in this type of water, there's not enough oxygen available. So they can't breathe, they go hypoxic. And our cells also require oxygen. So now we are acidic and we're depriving our cells of oxygen. Here is our Aquafina. Same thing, very acidic. Propel, very acidic. Soda pop, Kangen water, very alkalizing to the body. Now notice I said alkalizing, and I say that for a reason, because some people think, wow, it's so awesome. I'm just gonna go to the store and I'm gonna find alkaline water. Well, that's great, except for you turn it on the back and you look at the ingredients. The first ingredient in these alkaline waters are sodium bicarbonate. That's known as baking soda. So I can just save myself money and I can go to my tap, pour tap water and put baking soda in my water to make alkaline water. This technology does not add anything to that water, meaning that it's not going to be alkaline, it's called alkalized through electricity. So instead of a chemical change, it's an electrical change. So it's completely two different things. Those alkaline waters will build up in the body because there's all those inorganic minerals, where this technology is not adding anything, so it's not going to build up. You will not become too alkaline from drinking it. It's just going to help to balance you. So here we go. A little bit here, a little bit here. Oh, what happened here? These things here, so extremely acidic and toxic, it requires 3 entire gallons of Kangen water at 9.5 just to bring one of these back to a neutral state. So imagine you're at a party, you have a little bit of soda pop, here's your healthy body. Completely ruins it. All of them. Isn't that amazing? 32 to 1. That means one soda pop, 1 entire gallon of Kangen water just to neutralize it. Okay, so that's the alkalinity. Now we're going to talk about the absorption. So when we're drinking a lot of water, do you ever feel that bloated, full, sloshing sensation? I know I used to, and I would never drink a large amount of water before I went to the gym or running or jogging because I'd feel it in my stomach. And one of the amazing benefits of this is Kangen water is absorbed very rapidly into your system. Inside of our cells are positively charged, and tap water is positively charged. So when we drink it, that water is sitting outside of our cell walls. It's not hydrating, it's not cleansing, it's not detoxifying, it's not flushing. However, when we drink Kangen water, it's very negatively charged, penetrates our cells very easily. You drink it, it comes into our cells, it hydrates us, and it flushes out and cleanses the body. So it's a natural cleanse every single day that you drink water. So what I'm going to do to show you that is I'm going to make some tea. So in order to make tea, traditionally, you'd want to do typically a couple minutes of boiling that water. And when we do that, when we boil water, it turns very small, it turns into steam, it evaporates. It goes right into the tea bag and it makes tea with hot water. But we cannot make tea with cold water typically. So I'm going to show you just how this works. So this is an illustration of how this water gets into our body. So I want you to imagine that this is your brain. Your brain is 80% water. So here's our brain, and here's our brain drinking bottled water. So it can't penetrate because those molecules are very large. It's not getting into the tea. It's not able to penetrate that tea bag like it can't penetrate our cells. So that's typical. Now this is how it gets into the tea, or gets into our brain, into our cells. You can see that. So you can come over here, tea, and water transport. So if you are taking good quality vitamins, minerals, and supplements, water is what helps to bring it into the cells. So you're really gonna feel better absorption from all those vitamins because of the water as well. So 20 cups of tea with 1 tea bag is what you can make with Kangen water. Isn't that incredible? So that's the drinking water. Now, not only does this device make the best drinking water for you, your friends, your family, your pets, it makes 7 different types of water. So I can take my finger and push the button there called 2.5, which is very, very, very acidic. But at that pH, that water right there disinfects and destroys 99.9% of bacteria and germs. It kills things like MRSA, staph, gangrene, AIDS virus, E. coli, salmonella. So you can use it on your countertops, your toilets, your sinks, your mirrors. It's not gonna harm anything. So if you have children at home like I do, they drink it, no worries, you're not gonna go to the hospital. However, if you've got bleach under your countertop and your baby drinks it, you are gonna go to the hospital. So you can push a button on that unit that kills all living bacteria, but it's not toxic. So you can use it on your skin. What I'd highly recommend is on my website, Amanda Bobbett, spelled BOBBETT.com, you can actually find these different books. So this is my friend Dr. Peggy Parker, who's a biological medicine doctor and scientist. She tells you step by step on how to use these different waters for your health and for your kitchen and for your home. So I'm just gonna read through a couple of these here. So she says things like acne, if you had acne, cuts, scrapes, wounds, herpes, diaper rash, eczema, psoriasis, antiperspirant, rosacea, shingles, hair care, eye health, earaches, sinus infections and allergies, all these different uses. Brushing your teeth. My dentist has had a unit now for 6 years. And so will yours. Acid reflux, this is so common. She says, taking acid blockers creates a vicious downward spiral when it comes to proper digestion. However, this issue is one of the fastest to respond to drinking high quality ionized water. She says high quality because there's a lot of other brands out there. She's actually tested inside of people's bodies. And if she finds a better one, she would let us know. But so far, out of all of her years of research and testing the internal tissues, she's not found any of them that work better than this one. Food poisoning, E. coli, salmonella, hydrocolon therapy, yeast infections, dialysis patients, nail funguses, babies and children, baby formula, pets and animals. So she made 3 books, one for you, one for your home, and one for your kitchen. So you can find these on my website, amandabobbett.com. Okay, so those are excellent. The next water we're going to talk about is called 11.5. So 11.5 is all the way to the top. It's very alkalizing. It's not a drinking water. It's used for cleaning our fruits and vegetables because there's herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides on our food that are oil-based. So I'm going to show you this. Water and oil typically don't mix, and we're going to prove that right here. When I seen this, I was shocked. I could not believe it. So here is just simple sesame oil. We're going to put a little bit in this one, a little bit in this one, and we're going to see about water and oil mixing. So that's traditional. Water and oil don't mix. Wait till you see this. Now, here's their 11.5. The machine also makes this water here. So this one is able to break down oil bonds. So this is my laundry soap, my carpet cleaner, and my window wash. As well as when I come home from the grocery store, I have all my produce. I take out the bottom containers of my fridge and I pour 11.5 in there. Wash everything. I get about a week longer of shelf life on the food because you strip anything off of it that's going to cause it to age. And it tastes completely different when you take off all the chemicals. So I'm just going to show you real quickly here. So we have the tomatoes going in here. And pesticides and herbicides, side in Latin means death. And so what it's doing, it's killing the pests. And inside of our body, it's killing our good gut bacteria. And our brain and our gut communicate. So you really want to have a good balance. But unfortunately, if you're eating pesticides, you're killing your good bacteria. So we're going to test it out. So this is the regular water here, and then we're going to see what we can pull off of these tomatoes. Okay. We'll just let that sit for one moment there. And why I do that, I'm going to share with you Bob Wright, who's my friend. He's a very wonderful gentleman. Bob Wright's the founder of the American Anti-Cancer Institute. He lost both of his parents to chemotherapy and radiation. And so in this book, he talks about natural things that you can do to help overcome cancer. He has a whole chapter here. Step 3 of cancer diet. Restructured ionized water could save your life. Then he puts a whole chapter just on this water. So I want you guys to know about that. It's also on my website, amandababa.com. Another thing here we're going to talk about is colon health. You see, we have 23 feet from here to here, and we can store up to 15 pounds of fecal matter in our colon. I had my very first colonoscopy when I was only 22 years old. I self-diagnosed myself with leaky gut syndrome. It'd be a week before I'd go to the bathroom. And then when I did go get my colonoscopy, the doctor says, "Don't worry, Mandy, you're fine. You just need stool softeners." So then I was put on stool softeners for years. So here's a gentleman. His name is Dr. Shinya. Dr. Shinya, he's done over 370,000 colonoscopies and 140,000 polypectomies. This gentleman and Dr. Wolf developed the colonoscopy, and he invented the polypectomy. This is the medical advisor behind Enagic, the company. This gentleman has a book that I highly recommend called The Enzyme Factor. He talks about this water. He talks about enzymes in your nutrition you're putting in your body. On the back, he says, drinking Kangen water can help cure obesity, that antacids will make your stomach worse, medication often makes you sicker, your body is designed to heal itself, and ignorance is making us sick. Highly respected doctor, considered the #1 doctor in Japan, one of the top 10 surgeons in the world. This is Dr. Shinya. So this is one of his findings here. So this is a patient of his. It's a 45-year-old female with breast cancer, chronic constipation after 2 days of preparing for this exam. So you can see all the fecal matter here, and this is after 3 months of treatment. So the first thing you're going to notice when you start to drink the water is your ability to release waste out of the body. Because if you're not doing that, what happens is your body starts reabsorbing toxicity. Then we have yeast, bacteria, and funguses that must eat. And what they're finding to eat is our fecal matter. Then inside of your body, from their body, they're leaving a very toxic, very acidic waste behind that leads to diseases of all types. So one of the first things you're going to notice is how your body is going to process that waste and help cleanse it out of your system. This is a 65-year-old female cigarette smoker with breast cancer, before and after. Okay, so let's get back to these tomatoes. So we have the tap water tomatoes here. Over here, 11.5, pulling off those oil-based chemicals. Isn't that incredible? All that waste is coming off. So the 11.5 water, there's so many different uses for it, and it's explained in all those different books. We also have a beauty water for the skin and the hair. That one tightens and tones. So things like age spots, moles, wrinkles, it works great. It's a nice detangler for your hair. There's also one other water, just clean filtered water for taking any kind of medication if you are on medication. All right, just a few last things here and then we're going to conclude. This is probably one of the hardest things for me about this business, is what if? This gentleman was diagnosed with prostate cancer and ulcerative colitis. He says, the latter condition results in bowel obstruction, hospitalization, and they threatened to remove his colon. However, after drinking Kangen water for just 3 days, nightly diarrhea resolved, and has now returned in 2.5 years, and he's off steroids. He says, none of my physicians recommended or approved my drinking of Kangen water since they had never heard of it, including my 2 brothers, an ophthalmologist and a cardiologist. I'm glad I did not listen to them. As my gastroenterologist says, I continue to be in remission, and my most recent colonoscopy was normal. So could you imagine if you had something like this going on and you talked to somebody that didn't know what you know now about this water, and you didn't at least try it because of their opinion? Or maybe you're going online, you're typing in Kangen water. Well, guess what? Our competitors absolutely, unequivocally love us. That's because we're educating you. Then you go online, you type in Kangen water. The first 3 things that pop up are Kangen water scam, don't buy this until you see this, and Ionizzer review site. They want you to get curious, to click it, to go over to their site. So then you're sold something that's less quality, might last for 6 months or so, and then the benefits you're receiving, you're gonna notice go away. And if you want more information on that, I've got all the machines in my garage. I buy them from people that made the wrong mistake and bought them, and then they end up buying the right one after that. So I've got all those to show you if you ever want to see them. But what if? What if it could potentially help your health and you didn't try it because of someone else's opinion? So now we're going to get into the pets. They love it as well, but we're going to actually talk about the different units. So first off, the units themselves are 100% tax deduction. That's right, it'll cost you more not to own one than to own one. Because once you get one, you have the ability to help other people. So that means when you have family coming over to your home, or anyone that comes and stops by at your house, and you start feeling the benefits and they start seeing the benefits, we'll set you up with some bags and you can actually give out this water. Now you have the intention to help people, and the company will send you a thank you check if you wanted a thank you check. And so with that, you have an in-home based business, and your life now becomes a tax deduction. So things like your cell phone that you're using to talk to people about the water, you're flying around the world on vacation, but it's really for business because you're educating people, we can wrap that up also into a tax deduction because you are helping people around the world. So these are the different units, and we do financing, so don't think you have to come up with this on your own. So the financing on something like the spa unit, you can buy it for $2,390, or we can finance you for about $25 a month. So that's the first one. This one takes the minerals from the hot springs in Japan, puts them into the filter. The downfall to this one is that you don't want to get out of your shower. It feels so good. And it helps condition your hair. It's great for the skin, helps with age spots, freckles, and moles. This is the Love Look R. So this one right here is the lowest level that we have, but it's still a great option for those people that want something. This one will give you just drinking water. So no 2.5, no 11.5. The antioxidants are one thing we really want to pay attention to. This one gets to a negative 250 on that antioxidant chart. Remember, the higher negative, the more benefits you're going to see. And this one's pretty low, but at least it still gives you some. This one is about $20 a month to finance. Then we have the Junior 2. This one makes all of the different waters, 2.5 to 11.5. Life expectancy on something like this is around 10 years. This one will get to a negative 450 on the antioxidant chart. And once a year on average, you're going to want a new filter. And those are on our website as well. This one right here is SD501, one of our most popular units. That's the water you saw me show you today. That one is a negative 800 on the antioxidant chart. So this one, we can finance you on this for about $44 a month. You can go to amandabobbitt.com, and at the very bottom, you can fill out the financing information. We'll finance you. So this is the first one. And then, of course, we have a different color model, same exact thing, different color, negative 800 on the antioxidant chart as well. That one's about $44 a month. And we have different finance options as well. And then this one's under counter. So if you didn't want to see it setting on your counter, this would go underneath, and all you'd see is the readout. Now, this is the newest model that came to the market. This is called our K8. This is an international device. This one can get up to a negative 900 on the antioxidant chart. Life expectancy on something like this can be about 20 to 30 years before any refurbishing is required. Now, I want to leave you with one thing. We're all accustomed to buying bottled water or drinking tap water. Tap water contains chlorine. Chlorine is a carcinogen that was invented in World War I as a gas to kill people. And it goes into our water supply system to kill any bacteria, which is a good thing. But then what happens when it comes into our bodies? Well, I'm going to show you right here, this chlorine. So this is my tap water here at the house. And these are called chlorine indicating drops. So we're just going to add a couple drops here, and it's going to be yellow. That means there's chlorine. So if you can see, that's a large amount of chlorine in that water. Now, our skin is our largest organ and it absorbs things. So every time you're showering, your body's going into that and our skin is going to absorb all that chlorine. So these were identical waters. Now, over here, the chlorine is gone because it just went into my body. So think about that every time you're showering, we're getting a very high dose of chlorine. And I'm going to point out one thing in this book, Killing Cancer, Not People. So in the very beginning of this book, he talks about tap water. So those of you that still drink tap water, he says, I would never drink regular tap water unless it was an emergency. He says, go see for yourself. He says that the cancer risk among those drinking chlorinated water is 93% higher than those who do not. 93% higher. Great book. One last thing is our food also absorbs these chemicals. So these are lemons. And I'm going to show you here with how the lemon is just going to soak in all that chlorine. So look at this. See that? All the chlorine just went right into that food, like it goes right into our body. So I want to leave you guys with that. Please go to my website, amandababa.com, or get back to the person that introduced you to this water and get this water for yourself. Put it in your home so you can be healthy, be happy, and be free.